Okay, I don't like incentivizing things extrinsically, with rewards, when I was, for example, teaching kids. However, if I'm going to be giving credits to people, credits are intrinsic because it's due to the values that I have and the values you have, and I have enough trust in you or the person I'm engaging with. I wish to give them something of value, and I'm giving them credits. So, so it's not quite incentives, extrinsic incentives. So I've tried doing this in the past, but maybe it was too early. It's getting very close to a tiny period where people understand this. So I'm willing to give, say for example, if I'm in a school, £1,000 to a school, to a bunch of kids, a classroom of kids, for example, who managed to solve the problem. And the solving the problem is working together well. Okay, and if that happens and it was like a classroom of kids, or for example a school, a whole year group, if I give £1,000, that basically ends up as like each student getting £1. If the student themselves thought, wait a minute, I'm investing my time and effort to solve this problem, I'll put in £1. That means that effectively we're generating £2,000 of flow. Okay, and of course, part of the task of getting a bunch of people to work well together is they make decisions together. And of course, the task is, can 30 kids make a decision together? Yes, they can. Can 1,000, can a whole year group make a decision together? That's a trick. Okay, and that's getting close to a whole school making a decision. Okay, and so making a decision about £2,000, for example, is a lot more cognizantly kind of like exciting for a bunch of kids than it is to make a decision about £1. Okay, and that kind of learning process, I was not able to conduct that experiment when I was teaching, but I think I should be able to go to schools now and introduce this as a kind of mechanic. Now, in order for me to get that, it means that I need to generate enough money flow that I can play these kinds of games. And so I'm willing to give people who get what I'm doing. So for example, the other day I was doing a pitch at MSpark, and the den, the Dragon's Den kind of scenario, you had 4 people in a panel. And it went pretty well, but then I didn't land my pitch. And so I went to speak to 2 of the dragons afterwards, and they were like, oh yeah, who's this guy? And then I basically said, right, it wasn't so good, but the end. But here's the thing, and if what I'm about to say I think is really important, and if you can parse it, then let's talk. And I'm going to be talking to one of them. And in part in that conversation, and I revealed something about how this medium works and how writing works, and the phase change of the consumption and the creation of creative writing, okay, has inverted because of LLMs, and that's thousands of years of disruption. 6,000 years maybe. Whereas my Scale app is only 3,000 years of disruption. Anyway, did he get the value of this? Da, 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 da. So if he was to put money in, how much money would he put in right now? And I was thinking, and I've done this with another person, with a guy called Sean, who's basically a business manager in Wales. And he said, oh, £10. He was willing to put in £10. And I was like, great. And I was thinking this guy, Ed, would put in £10. And he said, oh, £100. And I was like, oh, right, okay. Now, I've forgotten about that. But he's put in £100. Now, £100, in terms of my, the new Substack, is effectively a year's subscription, is it? Is it a year's subscription? It's putting in £10 a month, effectively. So if somebody puts in £10 a month on a monthly subscription, that's equivalent to them putting £100 over the years. And that's what this guy is basically doing. And he's saying, oh, this is very interesting. I want to know what you're doing. Okay, I want to empower you to be able to go forward and do something. And rather than pay me for what I've done, they're kind of paying in order to be part of the process of what I'm doing. So they're investing their £100 in the same way that a student puts in £1 as they generate better quality classes. And their learning is better, and it's more fun, there's more activities, and maths is actually fun and interesting, engaging, and it's actually valuable. But only because they're receptive state, that they're putting in their pound for the fact that they're doing something internally to prepare themselves and do whatever they can at the time to make the class better. And so, or for example, when I'm putting in prompts and I'm talking to Claude, it looks like that I'm putting in, or for example, Lovable, I'm paying for credits, that I'm paying for the response I'm getting back from Lovable. I'm not. I'm literally going, I think what I'm building is brilliant. Okay, I'm putting all this time and effort in. Here's my direction. Okay, and this text that I'm putting in, I'm also giving you credits. Okay, so the alignment is, here's the thing that I'm doing, and here's some money to indicate it. And so there's the credits, and they're literally using credits in Lovable and other LLM tools. And so that's what we can do in classrooms, and that's what we can do. That's what I'm doing with Substack. So people are getting close to the edge of what I'm doing. It's not I'm going to produce something and then deliver it. That's the old method, and then people pay for it like it's a thing, it's finished, like a book or an article or a story. It's, here's an app. Oh, you're paying for the app. No, you're paying to play, okay, to engage with an LLM, to put in your genius and create narratives. And you're paying to invest in your play, okay? And the people who play well basically generate more revenue, okay? Either as players, because their stories are amazing, and people want to watch or listen to these stories, or people are then creating videos, animations of their stories, directors and so on and so forth, actors are acting in these things, or whatever variation of LLM and human being creativity. Or it's the DMs that are fine-tuning prompts so that the gameplay is amazing. They generate revenue. Or it's authors that have spent a lot of time creating some worlds, and people are playing in these worlds, and they generate revenue. Okay, but you have to put in the money to say, I think this is good, here's my investment. Oh, people are enjoying this thing, oh, I'm getting money back. Okay, but the idea with scale is that you just keep on putting money forwards. Okay, you're investing basically your time and effort into things. The proper serious attention economy, and also the experience economy, and it's the circular economy, but the money's going in the opposite direction. All of this all fits, all makes sense, all great, fantastic. However, people are still not giving me any money, which means I'm hitting a wall in about 2 months' time. It was 3, and now it's 2. Yeah. And so, and this is the thing that I would like, it sounds like an external, extrinsic reward, but it's not. I'm offering 1,000 times ROI. 1,000. Okay, so for the first £10,000 that I get given, so one person says, here's £10,000, they can stay, and whatever we produce, whatever I produce, they, and however much money we get, their exit is at 1,000 times that. So if they put in £10,000, they will leave with 10 million. Okay. And so the ROI is basically you can exit at 10 times your ROI, and that basically means you can take the money and just keep it. If you're going for the 100 times ROI, you basically have to kind of reinvest it in other things. Okay, other people like me, and so on and so forth. And if it's 1,000 times ROI, you're basically reinvesting it in a certain way of investing, i.e. to fund scale and so on and so forth. So you are getting the money. It's just that you're getting empowered to do so in a better way. So you can exit with the cash at 10 times of ROI. You can say, look, you've managed to get enough money now. I want my ROI 10 times, I want it back. £100,000, there you go. And I think that carries forwards. And I think it can carry forwards potentially indefinitely. So it's not just the first 10,000. So if people put in $1 million and we get, the thing explodes and money flow is occurring, they're going to leave with 10 million. Or if you put in £1 and you've invested £1 of your time, money, effort, whatever you want to call it, you're getting back £10. Okay? And you get it back and you can exit. You can take away the money and run away. Or you can reinvest it in the same way that you put in your £10, you put in the 100 that you get back. Or if you get back your 1,000, you're literally having to do it in a certain way, i.e. you're basically a partner and you're committed to changing the world, basically. So that's it, basically. As far as I'm concerned, these are not extrinsic, these are intrinsic, socially, if we understand that we're socially part of the same solution. And the return of 1,000, and you can do this specifically by funding, by subscribing to my Substack. So I'm just tracking it on Substack, and then I'll track it on Scale, the app, and yeah, and the money comes back to you when basically there's more money flow. And of course, you will share it forwards. If you hear something that you think, this is quite interesting, I'm going to share it forwards. And it's for other people to make their decision, as always. But you're making a decision as to, who do I know that's going to get this? And that's your decision, and that's relational. And that's what we need to empower, the relationships between us, not the crappy, cold, buying and selling marketplace that we currently are all operating in, and has infected all adults on the planet, apart from the very few who are kind of natively wise, of which I am one. And hopefully you are too. All right, be well. I'm David Pinto. I'm creating this owning thing. Be well.